Radio 104.5 KCZWLP.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez. You're listening to the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. And for the next hour, we will be with you talking about different things regarding the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, one of Texas's fastest growing chambers of commerce. I have to say, very proudly, we are now at 460 members. We've been around for 2.5 years. And what makes us a little bit unique, a little bit different, is basically our leadership and the amount of benefits that we provide to our members. So we do challenge you. If you're listening and you're not a member of this organization, go online right now. Just go online and check out your favorite Chamber of Commerce and look under benefits and see what benefits they give you. And then go online to our website and compare. Compare us to any Chamber of Commerce you'd like in the Texas region and in all the Gulf Coast. And if you can find a Chamber of Commerce that offers more, then I will give you a free membership on our chamber. Find a Chamber of Commerce that can give you more benefits than we can, and I will give you a free membership in the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber, and I will shave my head. There you go. So now you know the challenge is out. And we really want to make sure that you take this the right way. We want you to compare and shop, because all chambers of commerce profess and say different things, but most chambers of commerce actually don't do what they say, or they really don't promise anything. So we do promise something. We take you somewhere. We have a story, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And let me tell you a little bit about the things we do so that you can get an idea. So basically today we had an ambassadors meeting. So ambassadors are people that represent the chamber and the public, that help us with outreach and different things like that, help us talk to businesses and answer questions. And one of the businesses we talked to, who we've been very pleased has become a member of our Chamber of Commerce, and they are up and coming. They're quickly growing. They've relocated. They've expanded tremendously. Is our guest today. She represents the Vanguard Insurance Agency, and her name is Denise Mendez. Denise, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And okay, so you've been with Vanguard Insurance for how long, Denise?
I've been with them for 3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so okay. So but you don't necessarily sell insurance yourself. You're like, you make sure everybody's in line.
Right. I run the office.
So like the time we had the ribbon cutting over at Vanguard, you're the one that ordered the tacos?
I did.
Okay. Well, that was a good move on your behalf, because I know I talked to Humberto, who's the owner of the agency, and he was going to do some other weird, like chicken rolls or some goofy thing. Like, what are you talking about? Come on. And, we want to please the people. Well, but they were very popular.
Good.
And I do remember, though, that there was some left over because I took some with me.
Right.
And that's important. See, that's another, this is an educational moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening and you don't know a lot about Hispanic culture, one of the most important things you can do for us as Hispanics is, number one, is always feed us. Give us food. When you give us food, give us a lot of food, because we like to take food home. And that's why I took home a whole plate. It was awesome. So, in our value system in marketing, for us, it's food, family, friends, faith, and fun. So food is always number one. No matter what you do, if you're going to have an event in the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, make sure there's food. Number two, of course, bring your family and then your friends and stuff like that. So bottom line is, the Vanguard Agency, or the Vanguard Insurance Agency, I should say, has it down pat. And how long have you guys been in business now?
A little over 14 years.
14 years. Mm-hmm. So Humberto Garcia, who is the owner, might look a little bit innocent, but he's not innocent.
Right.
Okay, so he's been around.
He's been around.
Okay, yeah. And and he's very knowledgeable with things, on social media. I've seen him a lot, and you guys do videos and all kinds of cool stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's pretty much up there with the times, and he's a young man.
Correct.
So that's important. Also, if you're listening, you're a member of this organization, please remember that if you have not posted a video this week, you're due. All of our members are asked to put videos on Facebook, on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and so forth, because we want you to be prolific. And that's a great example that the Vanguard Agency is putting out there. So it's great that you're here on the show today. Denise, thank you for being here again.
Thank you.
All right. So today we had an ambassadors meeting. I said that earlier. Tomorrow we have a lunch meeting in Katy. And that's from 11:30 to 1:30 at a place called Cape Cod Cafe Express. Have you ever been to Cape Cod Cafe?
No, I haven't.
because there's one here in Spring, so you ought to go to that one.
Okay.
Do you like lobster?
I do.
Okay, so they're one of the freshest and best restaurants that offer lobster rolls, and great. I love their lobster bisque. And so it's really good food and very reasonably priced. So it's right here in Spring.
Perfect.
And we have another one in Katy. We'll be doing that one tomorrow for lunch. Katy. Then on Thursday, we have a lunch meeting at Chamagaucha. Chamagaucha is a Brazilian restaurant. And by the way, just so you guys know, even if they don't admit it, yeah, Brazilian folks are Hispanic because they're Latin America. And Portugal is kind of really related to Spanish in a very, very deep way. So, Brazilian people don't like to be called Hispanic, but just geographically, I would say they qualify. Plus, they play soccer okay. No, I'm kidding. They're the best in the world. They used to be the best in the world. We have so many things, just like Brazilian folks. So I have heard some folks from Brazil say they're not Hispanic, and I always think it's kind of funny. I do, just because they're Latin America. But bottom line is, Chamagaucha, Brazilian restaurant, awesome food, incredible steaks, and that's at 11:30 tomorrow for lunch. I'm sorry, Thursday for lunch. What am I saying? Thursday. And on Friday, we have our very first, this year, our very first Spanish-only meeting. We had a couple of those last year, and we didn't have a chair, someone that would take it over, so it was hard to continue to promote it in Spanish. But now, a young lady named Olga Lopez, Olga has a company called Monat or Monate. They have hair products, things like that. She knows a ton of people, and she's chairing that part of our chamber, the Spanish-only part. So for those of you out there who speak Spanish or who know someone who does, so this is exclusively for Spanish speakers. And by that, what I mean is this is not an opportunity for you to come and practice your Spanish or to come and learn Spanish. We love you, but we have 30 events that are in English. You may take any one of those events you want, but the Spanish-only meeting is Spanish only. I'm going to be presiding that meeting, so I'm really not going to stop to translate for anyone. So bottom line is, you speak Spanish, right, Denise?
Yes, I do.
So maybe it's right down the street from you guys, a place called Cilantros.
Oh, Cilantros, yes.
It's right
I'm
there.
familiar.
It's easy. So there's no excuse this Friday.
This Friday.
You can bring Humberto. He's kind of bilingual, and I know he eats, right? It's for lunch.
Perfect.
Right? And the bottom line with that meeting, just like all the other meetings we're doing, is that they're specific for members. We want our members to be successful in our Chamber of Commerce, and this is how we do it. A lot of networking, a lot of introductions, and events like this Friday, which is unique. I mean, I've never really heard, and there are very, very few organizations in Houston, right? I don't know how many million people live here. Very few organizations that are organized for business that speak Spanish. There's a couple of other ones that I know about here in the Woodlands, like Asociación de Empresarios Mexicanos, AEM, but those tend to be filled up by people who speak only Spanish, not necessarily bilingual. And I don't know that their ultimate outcome is business. They have a different sort of agenda,
Okay.
And so bottom line is, if you want to do business, if you want to do business in Spanish or know someone who does, this Friday at Cilantros, 11:30 to 1:30, is our meeting in Spanish. Allí nos vemos, which means we'll see you there. Anyway, okay. So back to Denise now, our guest. Denise, so you're with this insurance agency. What do you do there?
I manage the office. I also handle commercial accounts.
Commercial?
I service commercial accounts.
So who gets them? In general, is it Humberto and his peeps?
Yes.
And they're the ones that go sell them, and then you service them?
I service them. Correct.
Wow. Okay. And that's another part of your business that you're growing, right? Your commercial account business?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so right now, what the office itself, what's it specialized in? Because there's so many areas of insurance. Is there a specific one that you're specialized in?
Well, we offer home, we offer auto, flood, life, and commercial for our business owners that do networking.
Wow.
So general liability.
Are you listening?
Workman's comp. We service and handle a little bit of everything.
Wow. That's tough. Tough because it's hard to grasp all that so much, Anyway.
Well, we're in the business of helping people.
Of course.
And insurance is mandatory. And nobody likes to talk about it, but we're there to help you and walk you through it, and especially educate you.
Okay.
Because people don't realize what they're buying, what they're getting into. So our job is to explain it to you where you're comfortable, and we give you options. And actually, we do the shopping for you. So it saves you time, saves you money, and it gives you options.
Did you hear that, Humberto? I hope Humberto's listening because he's probably somewhere in his car. down in South Houston. Like, I'm not going there. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Roberto, but if you're listening, that was a very good description of what you guys do. And so we're here with Denise Mendez, the Vanguard Insurance Agency. Where are you guys located, Denise?
In the Woodlands, off of Grogan's Mill.
Grogan's Mill. Okay, so it's right down the street from You're down the street from the offices and down the street from Cilantro.
From Cilantro's, which I'll be there Friday.
There you go. So she's just committed, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be sure to put you on the list.
Porque hablo español.
There you go. So that I mean, it's different, right? I mean, because I conduct the meeting, I don't let it go too Hispanic. I don't know if that makes sense. We'll talk about a meeting that goes too Hispanic. What that means when we come back from this commercial break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show, where we bring you more visibility, more education, and more community involvement. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We are here with Denise Mendez. Denise Mendez is Puerto Rican, which is very cool. She grew up here in Texas. That's why she doesn't have an accent. But her parents, and she was born in New York. So basically, she knows all about the Puerto Rican lifestyle. We were just talking about this whole Brazilian thing. And
Right.
for those of us that have Brazilian friends, we get it. It's okay. We understand that you're not Hispanic, whatever. But it's funny because the music we have that starts this program is Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the reason I selected that music is when we first started the show, I thought, okay, this is Conroe, Texas.
Right.
It's like the most non-Hispanic county in the country. Yet Conroe is growing very, very quickly, Hispanic-wise.
Wow.
There's a ton of people showing up in Conroe who speak Spanish or who are Hispanic. People just don't know that. They think it's growing fast because, the folks around here are reproducing that fast, and they're not. They just have a lot of immigrants who,
Moving in.
Sorry, guys. It is what it is, right? You have a lot of people here. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get the most ethnic music I can find just because, we're in Conroe and I'm the only show in this station that has anything to do with minorities and stuff like that we're doing. I mean, specific to Hispanics. So that's why the music is what it is. We like the music. It's samba type music, and it's from Brazil. And Brazilian people are well loved and respected by all Hispanics, even though they're not Hispanic. We get that. And so, yes. Now, our guest today is Denise Mendez.
Yes.
And Denise, you took all kinds of notes and stuff like that. So answer one of the questions that you think is that you love the most.
One of the questions.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
Go ahead.
How about we do this instead?
Sure.
Before you answer one of the questions that you love the most, let me ask you one. And then you can sort of explain from there. Do me a favor, when you look this way, just give us your name and sort of what you guys do and who you are.
Well, my name is Denise Mendez. I represent the Vanguard Insurance Agency, and we're about helping people understand and educate them on their insurance. We always say insurance you can trust or insurance is a need, but it's actually mandatory. And so basically education, explaining, sitting down with them, helping them, taking the time to help them understand. And a lot of Hispanics don't understand coverages.
We don't get it.
We don't get it.
So how does somebody get a hold of you guys?
You can call us 281-453-8770, or you can look us up on the website, thevanguardagencyllc.com. And
what about your email?
My email is Denise at vanguardagencyllc.com. Denise with the C. D-E nice.
D-E nice. Denise.
Right. Yes.
Well, thanks for that, Denise.
You're welcome.
So, all right, something you said I think is important because then it becomes a thing, We have to have insurance.
Yes.
But I've seen, this is, okay. So culturally.
Right.
Okay. And we'll explain the whole thing about a meeting becoming too Hispanic, but even society becoming too culturally Hispanic. What happens is, back where I'm from, like in Mexico, when I lived in Mexico, insurance was not even a thing. It's just maybe some people had it, but most people didn't.
Right.
And if you have a car accident in Mexico, you either figure it out there or a lot of people just run.
Oh, wow.
They leave their car there and just split because there's damages or somebody got hurt and they don't want to pay, so they just leave.
Wow.
Just crazy.
Scary.
Well, very scary because, even major accidents, you'll find like the truck driver or they're just gone. They disappear. Right? So that you can never find the people responsible for things. So knowing that the concept of insurance is not really ingrained in a person's mind. So when they come here and they're told this is mandatory, you have to pay another $100, $200 a month for your car or for your house or whatever. There's people, and I know there's a lot of folks that say, well, what's that about? How do you explain this whole concept to people so that they understand that it's something they've got to do?
It's something they have to do and something no one ever wants to talk about. Like we said, it's mandatory. It's the law. And basically you just explain to them what they need. And every family is different. Every scenario is different. So depending on what their needs are, if they're a young driver, if they're a senior driver, if they're a multifamily, we just have different scenarios and different companies. We have A-rated companies that we represent. So we're going to go by what your needs are.
And so when somebody, for example, doesn't speak English.
All of our representatives speak Spanish.
Okay, so you're a fully bilingual agency.
Correct.
That's part of, I'm sure that partly explains your success as an organization, as a company. But let's say, for instance, you've got somebody who doesn't speak English, who's here and says, they told me I need to get insurance. Why do I need this? Well, how do you bridge that gap? I think is what I'm trying to find out. How do you explain to a mother, okay, you need to get this because otherwise you'll go to jail?
Correct. So we've never really had a scenario like that because everybody kind of knows that at the time that you have to have it, especially when you're purchasing a car. They're not going to let you leave the lot unless you have insurance. So when you purchase a home, they're not going to let you purchase it at closing without having insurance.
Sure.
So they kind of already know. But if they didn't know, then I would explain to them in Spanish, es necesario. It's a necessity that you have to have this. And then I'll explain to them what each coverage means and how much each coverage is and what they need and what they don't need.
Okay.
My job is to help you and represent you against the insurance company. And it's just about, helping them and servicing their actual need at that time.
So do you find that people sometimes buy too much insurance?
You can never have enough insurance.
Okay, so they don't buy enough then?
Well, no. It depends. Some people think they don't need certain coverages, and in actuality, you actually do. Behind the scenes, people think they have certain coverages that are not. People say, "Oh, I have full coverage." Well, what does that mean?
Full of what?
Exactly. So a lot of them don't understand that they need they need collision, comprehensive, for property damage, collision against other vehicles. A lot of them just want liability because that's all the law requires. Sure. And it's the cheapest. But then when they get into an accident, they don't realize they have no coverage. So it just depends on their need at that moment. And my job is to help you and to service your need.
Wow. Okay. So that's interesting because, so if somebody doesn't buy enough insurance, right? You're able to look at their policy, no matter who it's from,
correct,
and know whether or not it's enough. But why do sometimes people end up buying not enough?
To save money. They think that they want the cheap way out. They don't realize they're just hurting themselves in case of something happens. In case of an accident, in case of a claim. Let's just say the biggest catastrophe that happened lately. Hurricane Harvey. That's fresh on everybody's mind. Everybody thinks that flood is covered under homeowners insurance. False. It is not. You have to have a flood policy separate from your homeowner's policy. People automatically think it's covered. Well, it's not. So they can be underinsured in that way with water coming in from rising. It's not going to cover.
Okay, so and of course you guys have flood insurance.
Of course,
because there's something I heard on the radio the other day, and I thought, okay, that can't be right. Well, maybe it is. I'm not sure, but this one company had a commercial, right? Okay, and a person comes out and says, "I used to pay $120 a month for insurance, but now I got this one lawyer."
Right, for $60.
And now I only pay $60. Right. And I'm like, yeah, but now you have no
coverage. So they lowered their coverages in order to save them money.
Right.
So what's required by law is 30, 60, 25 minimum coverage.
What's that?
30,000, 60,000, 25,000, which is bodily injury and property damage. But let's just say you had an accident and you hit a Mercedes.
Yeah.
Do you think $25,000 is going to cover that person's Mercedes? They paid $40,000 plus for their Mercedes.
More than
you are underinsured.
Go with 60.
So who are they going to come after for the difference? The insurance company is going to say, "Hey, you signed this, you paid for this. We're going to pay out that $25,000." Absolutely. But then that person's going to come after you and sue you for their differences.
Yeah, or they won't pay because I had a Mercedes and somebody ran into me, like they T-boned me in a parking lot. I was at a Best Buy and I was just driving. Okay, so they destroyed my right-hand side and both doors had to be replaced. And each door was, what was it, like $22,000?
I was going to say over $20,000 each.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy expensive. I ended up, after a while, I just got rid of the car because that was fixed. The other person ended up owing after their insurance about $30,
Right.
A lot of money. So I would have had to sue them, get a lawyer, figure out, and I just can't do that, Right. So I don't have time. So I ended up covering part of it
yourself.
And
you shouldn't have to.
Well, because you think you're insured.
You think you're insured. So what we do at our agency is minimum that we offer is $5,150.
Okay.
We start off with that quote automatically.
Okay. Wow. This is Denise Mendez. Denise with a C. So it's D-Nice. That's how it's spelled. D-E-N-I-C-E. She's with the Vanguard Insurance Agency. They're right here in Grogan's Mill, here in the Woodlands. And we're talking a lot about just different coverages and different things. When we come back, we're going to learn more about the Vanguard Agency. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832 525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
A Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's radio station with talk, music, weather, and traffic for Montgomery County. Have a question or comment about one of our shows? Want to know how to reach a host? Just contact the station at irlonestar.com or call in and leave a message at 936-647-3776. Get involved with your community with Lone Star Community Radio.
We're back. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez with the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. We're at the Chamber. We bring you more visibility, more education, more business connections, and more community involvement. Although we don't save the manatees, we don't save the whales, we do all kinds of different things with our peeps, with the people we live around, and we love our community. So if you want to be involved with us, please let us know. Give us a buzz. We're happy to talk to you. I'm here today with Denise Mendez. Denise is Denice. It's spelled a little bit unusually because sometimes it's funny. In Puerto Rico, and also in the Dominican Republic a little bit, but for sure in Cuba, they mess up the names. They kind of fix them up onto their own convenience, you know? And there's like a lot of Arelis and Mayeli, and you know what I mean? Just like funky names. So where'd you get this funky Denise name?
Actually, my mom did not have a name for me
until
she went into labor. And the nurse that helped her in labor and delivery, her name was Denise. And she fell in love with that name.
Of course, she had to fall in love. She had no idea.
Right.
We're going to call this thing, I just had a baby. Okay, what's your name? Okay, Denise. Let's call her Denise. Well, but has it been good luck for you? It's been good luck for you.
Oh, absolutely.
You've been around for not been around. Let me say. You've been married for 20 years now.
Yes, I have.
So tell us about your kids.
My kids, Daniel, 19, and going into his sophomore year at Texas Lutheran University.
Wow.
Very proud of him.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Majoring in journalism, minoring in communications.
Very cool.
And Emily, she is turning 14 next week, and she's going to be a freshman in high school.
That's exciting for her.
Exciting.
You know, and for her mom, because they're basically flying out of the coop now. I mean,
that's right.
Wow.
I get to downsize.
You know, it's really weird. I did the downsizing thing about 2 years ago.
Okay.
You're going to be amazed. It's both painful, necessary, and it's a like a drive through memory lane. It's unbelievable. What ended up happening is we couldn't throw away stuff that we've had for 30 years. Well, not 30 years, 20 years. Old, broken, bottles and just weird stuff that you say, that was a word that you heard most in my garage in the house. We had like a 3,300 square foot home, 4 bedrooms and 4, big. Went all the way down to 2 bedrooms, just really small. And the whole time the words were, I can't. And so basically, when it came time to fill up a truck and say, okay, we're only going to put in this truck what we can fit, and then the rest of it, we're getting but we ended up with 2 trucks.
Oh, no.
And so we can't get rid of anything. So it's one of those things that downsizing, it's necessary, but it's a weird, because you have to let go.
You have to let go.
And you probably still keep all the things that your kids, when they were younger. And
I do. I have it in a box.
And even everything from the first blanket all the way to with all the drawings during elementary school and stuff. And all that stuff really, in the end, I mean, it's valuable, it's important, but it's not, you can't carry that around.
Correct.
So you have to give it back to them. And when you give it back to them, they'll say, I don't want it.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things, it's weird. So downsizing, important, necessary, but at the same time, it's life, So what are you guys going to do? What are you going to do now that you're going to be with more time and are you going to start doing new things like as a mom or as a woman? Because we have women's success groups in our chamber. You know that. Latinas Without Borders.
Yes. I actually RSVP today.
The 31st.
To be there for the 31st.
You're going to love
at Brios at 5:30.
I know why. Because you're the director of operations for Mass Mutual, Sandra Diaz.
Gracia.
Gracia.
Diaz.
That's funny because people go Gracia. They go de nada. I'm like, no, I'm not thanking you. Her name is Gracia.
Her last name.
And I remember when I sent her an email a long time ago when we first met. I sent her an email for the chamber. She just wouldn't answer.
Mhm.
So I think I texted her or I called her and I said, it's okay if you don't answer. I get it. She goes, is it Gracia or Garcia? What'd you put? I said, Garcia. All of us screw that up, because
Right.
we just get it wrong. Anyway,
Right.
Sandra's going to be speaking
Mhm.
for Latinas Without Borders. We have about 25 people as of right now registered. We're hoping to get about 30.
Mhm.
It's a great event because it's a learning experience. It's women talking about success, talking about growth, about leadership.
Mhm.
There'll be no facials. There'll be no selling of jewelry. None of that stuff, because sometimes in women's groups, that's all you get.
Right.
I don't know. Have you ever gone to other women's success groups or just regular groups for women?
Yes.
So
And you're right. It's, there's jewelry or there's makeup. And so this is, I'm looking forward to it because it's about someone's success and how they did it.
We are the anti-jewelry and makeup thing because I don't preside it.
Right.
That's Sabrina Amel
Mm-hmm.
with the Amel Agency, who, by the way, sponsor this show. So she's in charge of the group. She's the chair. But I put it together originally for the Chamber of Commerce. And that was the number one thing. It's like, this is a women's group, but they're not going to do womanly things. They're going to grow. The whole point is support. It's networking, but it's a deeper type of meeting,
Right.
Because I've gone to those meetings. I went to this meeting once with my wife. This is, and I don't blame the women. They do what they do. Okay. I go with my wife to this meeting, and the first thing they tell us, there's like six or seven of us. So it's at the very beginning, is please be patient. There'll be men coming up. I was the only guy, right? Later, there were 20 people, all women, just me.
Wow.
And it was just a thing that the guys were not showing up, whatever. But I did my wife a favor and I showed up. And so this is why the guys don't show up. The first thing the leader did when she finally convened the meeting is made everybody stand up and dance, I Will Survive. Remember that song? I Will Survive. At first I was afraid, like, oh my God, what are they do? So it became like a male bashing thing. Yeah.
Right.
And everybody's dancing. Like, you want me to dance that?
Yeah, no.
And I said, I'll be back. I'm going to the car. And my wife was like, you're not going anywhere. So I mean, I stood it. I mean, but the bottom line, though, is that when you lose your focus or when you don't define your focus and you become too in that direction, it becomes very unattractive to men.
To men, correct.
And when it's unattractive to men, then it can lose its power very quickly because the guy is home at the time that these meetings happen. Like if this one's at 5:30 p.m.
Right.
If your husband thought it was a bunch of wish-wash, he would be giving you a hard time or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you want people's support. And the way you get that is not by showing up at home with a ton of makeup and stuff. Is by saying, you know what, I learned something new today about myself and about success. That's how I see it,
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is the anti thing. We love you if you guys do facials and if you guys do cosmetics. And, we have a ton of people like that in our chamber and we love them. But this meeting is not for that. And they know it.
Right.
So basically, Sandra's going to talk about her success as a vice president of operations of Mass Mutual Texas Gulf Coast and talk to us a little bit about the things she's doing. She's a young lady.
Correct.
And to have that level of success, I think is pretty meaningful.
It is.
And they're very professional back in
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So there's another girl that's going to come with her. I think it's Crystal. Crystal Wynn.
Crystal Wynn.
And I think Crystal performs the function of recruiter. We'll have to find out what that means. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure it's good. And so it's exciting. That's the 31st of this month at Brio.
At Brio's.
At 5:30.
5:30.
And the key thing there is traffic and parking.
Yes.
Well, you're going to be fine. You live right there.
I'm going to go straight from work.
Are you taking anybody from your office? Or
and I have a few that I want to invite. So we'll see. The girls
members of the members of your office or friends?
Oh, friends. And also, of course, the staff is invited. We have two reps, two agents that work with us now, Leslie Melendez and Annie Rufino.
I think I know one of them. Well, were they both in your?
They were both there at the grand opening.
Okay, so then I know them both. I was there, of course. What am I saying? Okay. So anyway, that's the 31st. That's Latinas Without Borders. We're excited and we look forward to it. That's next week.
Yes.
And so if you're listening and you have someone that you know who wants to become a part of our chamber and participate in groups like this success group is for women only and members only. So in essence, we don't invite people that are not members of our Chamber of Commerce unless they're interested in joining. If they're interested in joining, they'll get the front seat. I'll give it to them. I'll give them my seat if they want to join. But it's one of those things where it is. I only open the meeting. That's all I do when I'm there.
Okay.
And so I'll be there and then I'll sit outside waiting for the people that come in late
Mm-hmm.
to not let them in.
Oh, okay.
Because if you come in too late, what happens is that when we first started Latinos Without Borders, this is a couple of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
people would get there whenever they felt like it, right? And that disrupts everybody,
Correct.
especially the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So in respect, out of respect for our speakers and respect for our chair, Sabrina Amel, we want to make sure that people don't walk in and out of that meeting. It's a real meeting, right? So I just wait outside and make faces at the ones that show up late, and then I escort them into the room when the time is right. Good. Basically, we have signals.
I like that.
So that's Latinos Without Borders next week. All right, so let me ask you this about the insurance agency then. How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in the insurance industry for servicing for about 20 years.
Where did you start? Like, were you here? Oh, you're Houstonian all the way.
I'm a Houstonian at heart. I was born in New York, but we moved here when I was 8.
Okay.
So I'm a Houstonian at heart. And
so there's no accent.
No accent. And I've been servicing accounts, since my early 20s.
Wow. So, and for that though, you do have to take training and stuff like that.
Oh, yes. I'm licensed, PNC, and also life. I also take PNC property and casualty, which is home, auto, flood.
That's more. That our members will understand.
Right.
Okay.
That means I can sell, even though I don't, because I can, but my main focus is to service and to run the office.
Wow. So you want to make sure that there's enough toner in the
right.
But not only that, but you make sure that your customers are happy.
Absolutely. But I do handle the commercial side. So I do have that side as well.
Tell the people that are listening again, if they want to call you, what number should they call?
281-453-8770.
And we're also, by the way, guys, just so you know, for those of you listening, if you'd like to text me any kind of questions or any kind of comments, please do. We'll discuss them with Denise right now. Denise Mendez is with the Vanguard Insurance Agency. They're located right here in the Woodlands on Grogan's Mill, but they can write insurance anywhere in Texas.
Absolutely.
And so you can give them a buzz at the following number.
281-453-8770.
So when we come back, we're going to learn a lot more from Denise and from the Vanguard Insurance Agency. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, The Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
We're back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Carlos Sanchez, Hispanic Chamber Connection Radio Show. We are the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Yes, we are one of the fastest growing Hispanic chambers of commerce in Texas, and we're kicking it. We're here with Denise Mendez. Denise is from Puerto Rico.
Hey.
Born in New York, lives in Texas.
Boricua.
Forever here in Houston. Just so you know, the word Boricua means something important?
Borriquen, it means Puerto Riqueña.
It's sort of short for Puerto Rican. So it's inoffensive. It's very cool, as is Denise. Denise, thank you again for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And we have a couple of things we were going to talk about. And I wanted to ask you, okay, so in your office, you guys can write insurance. Basically, I said this earlier, I'm not sure if it was correct, anywhere in Texas.
Absolutely.
But if I live outside Texas, can you also do that? Or
it depends.
Okay.
We have a license in North Carolina. And
that's all the way in the East Coast. Why would you go so far?
We needed it at one point, so we got it.
Yeah.
So really just Texas.
Okay.
It depends. If you have workman's comp with Texas Mutual, even though it says Texas Mutual, and you open another company in another state, which I had that scenario this morning. She called me up. She says, Denise, I'm buying an agency in Georgia. Can you write it? And absolutely.
So you could if you okay. And what about the other guys in your office, like your office owner of the agency, Humberto Garcia? So if he's listening to us, there he is. If he's watching.
He's been in the insurance industry for over 14 years. And he's a good guy, really down to earth, from Mexico, from Monterrey.
We've heard.
Yes. And
we like him anyway. So
yeah.
All right.
He's the owner, but he also he sells or he handles commercial accounts.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I just got a text. How long? Well, you already told us how long you've been in this industry. But what got you into this whole thing? Right? How'd you get involved in insurance?
In insurance? Yeah. Actually, it was my dad, to be honest with you.
It's his fault?
It's his fault. He had a friend who had a small little insurance office, and she needed someone part-time to do the paperwork. And I was in high school, actually, my senior year. And I worked the co-op program. I would get off of work, actually out of school at 11:30 in the morning, and I would go straight to work and work part-time. And that's how I got into it.
Okay. So, and back then, being bilingual didn't really matter, did it?
Actually, it was very, I was going to say populated with with Hispanics back then.
Really?
Her office was off of 59 in Tidwell.
Okay, so she had a whole group of us.
So she had
a whole pack. A whole pack.
And she actually needed me because she was American and couldn't speak Spanish.
Right.
And shout out to Brenda Martin, who had that insurance agency back in the day.
Brenda Martin, how you doing?
Back in 92, 93. And she showed me the ropes. And
that's a big deal. And I do speaking to different groups, right? And in my heart, there's always a big space for Hispanic groups, like Hispanic professionals. And next week, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to speak to a big group, a couple hundred people in Austin about, being Hispanic. And I have stories and whatever about success and about, doing your thing. But one thing that a lot of folks don't realize, it's just the value, not necessarily the importance, but the value of being bilingual. How truly important it is and how easily misunderstood it is too. It's weird that there's actually still parents out there that say to their kids, don't speak Spanish, only learn English.
Right.
And they grow up, they're as brown, but they speak not a lick of Spanish.
I know a few.
It's weird, right? For them.
It's weird. And I think because back then, because of segregation or racism
but that still happens now. But now it happens if you don't speak Spanish.
Correct.
It's
other Hispanics are like, why don't you speak Spanish?
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
Your last name is Mendez.
Yeah. Well, unless you're Brazilian, of course.
Right,
but, I'm kidding, Brazil. I'm kidding. But it's one of those things that I still see parents today that will tell their kids, okay, in life, speak English. But when you speak to me, speak Spanish. That's how my mom brought us up, right? And it was very difficult. Because when I was growing up, at ages like 10 and 11, I knew she didn't understand what I was saying. I knew it,
Right.
Of course, then it ended up that, because she spoke only Spanish. Then it ended up like when I was 12, we moved to Mexico and I didn't understand. I couldn't speak Spanish.
Wow.
So for me, it was backwards,
Okay.
Still, now I'm bilingual in both languages and I've done, I've studied in both languages. And I see how important it is to have that bridge,
It's so important.
So give us your background on that. I mean, you've learned both languages.
Both languages.
How did you learn those?
My mother only spoke Spanish as well. Even though she came from Puerto Rico at the age of 16 in New York, you really don't need to speak English because they're just so, everybody around you is Hispanic.
Yeah.
And
all those Dominicans, man, there's a ton of them over there.
There's a ton of them. And
just kidding.
So she said I actually learned English first because my brothers and sisters were older than me. But to her, I spoke Spanish. So
Same
she
thing.
always maintained the Spanish, and I always spoke to her in Spanish. And
even to
I
this
can read
day.
and write it as well, so I'm very fluent.
It's weird. I grew up in East Los Angeles, so it's the same thing as the Bronx. I mean, it's basically bottom line is it's all Hispanic. It used to be something else, but now it's like little Mexico there.
Right.
And same thing. My parents, my mother, never a lick of English. Didn't need to. And she had 12 kids.
Wow.
And, we were stacked. And so, and she would get all kinds of benefits and stuff.
Right.
All in Spanish. So she could function and not have to worry about anything. My father had a harder time because he didn't speak a lot of English. So he had to learn and figure it out. But there's people in this country still that don't need to speak, English. They just never do.
Right.
And that's both, good for them, but at the same time, it can be pretty dangerous too.
It can be right.
Because that's where you get the segregation and all the crazy people.
And people take advantage.
No question. So have you guys found that in insurance, in your business, that people sometimes take advantage?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Selling them things they don't need or giving them coverage, like I said, that they don't need, extra coverages, or maybe underselling just to sell the price and not really insuring them properly. So that's also something to look out for.
Because I know some folks too that can buy certificates of insurance. They make them up.
Yes, they do. Unfortunately.
No, but I also know this though. I think that the police can look you up. Is there a database somewhere?
Yes, there is. Now there is. They actually can run your plates and they know whether you have insurance or not, whether you show them proof or not. They already know ahead of time.
That is so cool. Totally. Because I know, well, this is a long time ago. I got stopped and he goes, you don't need to show me your insurance.
Right, because they can see it.
But this is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And I go, well, that's all I have. Because you asked for it. But then I showed my driver's license. And, but it was surprising to me that even if I wanted to cheat the system, buying a certificate of insurance, I get stopped. I'm done.
Right, you're done. You're still going to get the ticket.
Well, not only a ticket, they'll even tow you.
Right.
They won't let you drive your car.
Absolutely.
So please understand, if you're listening and you're ever thinking about, or if you know someone who might be purchasing their certificate of insurance,
don't do it.
If you do it and you get stopped and you go, don't call me.
Right.
I won't be answering.
Get out of jail free card.
Yeah, well, because you'll go in there for free for sure, and you'll spend the weekend or whatever, and that because it's a pretty big deal. And
it is,
like we said, there's nothing worse than having an accident, or somebody hitting you, and them saying to you, "I have no insurance,"
or giving you a fake card. And they call to make a claim, and you have to tell them that person does not have insurance with us.
Wow. That's happened before too.
Yes. Yes.
And that and it doesn't just happen in Hispanic America. This happens in all of them.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
With everybody. Just people trying to get away with stuff, and not paying or doing what they have to. So here's my recommendation, guys. I just bought a car recently, and of course, they said I didn't, because I bought it cash. They said you don't need to have the full coverage thing, liability, whatever.
Right.
So I got full coverage. Right. Okay. And what I'm doing to make sure it's paid is I just have it automatically deducted from my bank account. So I can't mess around with it. There's no writing a check. There's nothing. It goes straight out of your account.
Right.
So as long as I make sure there's money in that account, which I do, I meet that obligation, and it doesn't hurt as much as writing a check would.
Right.
Did
you know that because you're set up on automatic withdrawals or EFT, insurance companies give you a discount for that, up to $50 to $100 a year, depending on which one it is.
Amel Agency, are you listening?
Yes.
I'm going to call you later. Well,
you should be getting an EFT automatic withdrawal discount. Also, what I was going to go back and say is that we have the insurance app. You can look at your ID card from your cell phone.
Really? So if they stop me, I can say, "Excuse me, officer, let me adjust my phone." And
Can I open my app and show you? And that's how I have mine. It's on the app because we have different companies that we work with, top rated A. So one of them is Allstate. I have my Allstate app. I pull it. I open it. You can even get it from the agency website.
Wow.
And you can print your own certificates, and they're real.
And they're real. They don't bounce.
And so you can print whatever you need right off the website.
Okay. And all right. And that's the thing. So how many people that actually speak Spanish know these things?
They don't until they meet us. And we educate them on coverages and what we have to offer.
So do you guys ever go on the radio in Spanish too?
Not yet.
Okay.
But thanks for the idea.
well, there's different shows. We used to have Éxito Empresarial, Doctor Carlos, whatever. But it was just a show in Spanish. Right now, all we're doing we're looking for sponsors, and I would do it again.
Awesome.
But it's downtown,
and you can invite me over.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's just one of those things that the more airtime you have, the better it is, because it's such a competitive environment. Anyway,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, so if I have, here's the thing: if somebody, for example, doesn't have enough coverage, they contact. How do I know I don't have enough coverage?
You probably don't. So this is why we go over it before we let you purchase it, and we explain it to you.
So, for example, and if my insurance is about to expire, is this the right time to call
you? Absolutely. 30 days before renewal, a week before renewal, doesn't matter. We can get it done. We can explain it to you and help you with what you need at that moment.
What if I'm in the middle of a term?
That's okay.
You guys can help me break out of the other one?
Absolutely. There's no contract. Okay. It's just, you just stop your last payment and then go from there.
And they just not even let them know?
No, yes, of course. Absolutely. You do let them know.
That's being too nice. They weren't nice to me.
You do let them know, and you cancel and you do a signature and everything. And we take care of it for them.
Wow.
We do the legwork. Can we help everybody? No, but we're going to try.
Okay. So this is Denise Mendez with the Vanguard Insurance Agency. And give us your phone number one more time, Denise, please.
281-453-8770.
Thank you so much for being on the program, Denise.
Thanks for having me.
I hope that we bring you back very soon. And the next time you bring a friend of ours that is absent today.
Yes.
And that's Humberto Garcia. Humberto, we're watching. And we'll see him hopefully soon. I'm Dr. Carlos Sanchez. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection radio show. Thank you for listening. We'll see you back here next week. Denise, again, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again. Thanks again, and have a great week. Bye-bye.
We're all alone, just you and me. What do you